They said gray paved the way, changed the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper rap, tighter set, high in Delhi, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, it's been a while since I heard that intro song, and when I heard, I'm like, I'm back into my fucking wrestling vibe. Going in, I know there's topics, and I'm gonna let Muffins do his talking because there's things he wants to talk, and I'm just gonna piggyback and throw my 2 pennies into the situation. But it's been a big. I know we're gonna talk AEW. I don't know which one we're doing first, AEW, WWE. But
yeah, we're gonna talk the AEW first. And by the way, that's Jeff, and I'm your quintessential Puerto Rican muffin, Jorge, aka Muffins Martinez. And please don't forget to subscribe, and everything at Urban Wrestling Network. He always forgets to say the stuff, so I know how to say this anything else. But AEW had the 5-year anniversary on Wednesday, so they finally announced the AEW deal with Warner Brothers, and bro, is a doozy. If a deal is between 3 to 5 years, and it looks like a NBA contract for a superstar, because they're getting per year. They're getting a specific amount per year, and then a player option on the 4th and 5th year. So when I saw that, I'm like, dude, they signed a humongous basketball player to the contract or something. So the first 3 years, they're getting $150 to $175 million per year for the first 3 years. Yeah. So if they're saying that wrestling does not sell, or wrestling is dead, or wrestling is this, something is going on, because Warner Brothers loves AEW and they love wrestling, and they're keeping AEW around for the next 2 to 5 years. So that's the first 3 years, and then the 4th and 5th year is what we call a player option, that he's playing in our team. If we like what we see the first 3 years, we'll clinch in that 4th year option, and then they'll stay for the 4th year at a specific price. And the 5th year, okay, he's doing good, we're going to click in the 5-year option, and boom, we go for the 5-year option. He's going to stay here for another 5 years, and then we'll go and sit back after the 5 years over on the table and see if they come back for whatever. But let's be honest, when AEW started, nobody said it was gonna last a year. People were laughing. Oh, that's gonna last a year. 3 years, nah. 3 years, nah. They hit 5 years, and they signed them again for a 5-year contract, which means by the end of the 5 years, it's going to be 10 years. So they're still doing their stuff. They're still going, and they're still doing. For some reason, people are not watching it because we know the ratings are horrible.
That's why
I don't know. People are not going to the shows because we've seen empty seats and they're using a lot of small venues. What's going on there? But Warner Bros. Likes them. They have a rich, well, I don't even say rich. They have a multi-billionaire father and, cousin Tony. So as long as they're around, I'm pretty sure Tony will go, well, shit, let me stay in your channel. I'll pay for the stuff. So we could stay here. Well, there's a couple of more things I want to bring up before that. So we got the 3 or 5 years. The pay-per-views are moving to HBO Max. So no more BR Sports, where how you were using the BR Sports or conventional, pay-per-views. No more BR Sports. So now, starting in January or maybe even sooner, you're going to see the pay-per-views, which, four a year maybe? 5 pay-per-views a year they do now. We're all in, all out, the Wembley Stadium show. What else they do on pay-per-view? Huge shows. So those are going to be... I know they got 4 or 5 big ones. The all in, all out. Then the Wembley Stadium, that's 3. And I know there's one more, or maybe 2 more. I can't remember the name of them. But they will be hitting HBO Max. So that's huge because HBO Max has 65 million subscribers on HBO Max. So if you are a subscriber like myself, and I get that $7.99 deal for 6 months, and then I quit, and then they give me the $7.99 for the 6 months, and then I jump back in again. Hey, I'm sorry, but I am not paying $50.99 for just one to skip the commercials. Hell no.
No,
$7.99 works for me. Anywho, I'm one of those 65 million subscribers, so when it pops up, I'm gonna see it there. And their shows on what they do on Wednesdays and Saturdays, which is Dynamite on Wednesdays, Collision on Saturdays, no more Rampage. So Rampage is going to disappear pretty soon. They're going to be simultaneously, and I probably said that word wrong, on HBO Max at the same time as TBS and TNT. So if you don't have TBS and you don't have TNT and you have HBO Max, you can watch the show that same day, that same time is going on those two channels. You're able to see on HBO Max. How they pull that shit off? They put maybe because it's streaming servers and not private streaming servers, HBO and go Warner Brothers. So yeah, it's going to be simultaneously at the same time in HBO Max and TBS or TNT in here. So, but yeah, so Rampage is going to be gone. They're shopping a new show called Shockwave. But the thing with that is because they're already on streaming service, HBO Max and Warner Brothers, they cannot be in another cable channel. So it has to be on a regular channel like Fox, ABC, CBS, NBC, conventional channel. So if they get Shockwave going, it'll have to be on Fox on one of those conventional channels. So they cannot be in another competing streaming service or like Warner Brothers. They can't compete with each other. So, but yeah, that's the news. That's the AEW news on their contract. AEW is gonna be around for another 5 years. They're going big. So if they ever say that there's no money in wrestling or wrestling is boring or they're losing money, you can look at the numbers, go into the internet, go to AEW WB deal, and you'll show all the numbers, and you can see these people are making money. I don't know how they're losing. They're not losing money because they're actually are making or hitting a profit this year again of 75 million profit. So somebody's watching it. It's like cocaine. People do it, but nobody wants to admit it. You know what I'm saying? Cocaine is still out there. Nobody wants to admit it, but somebody's doing it because it's always out there somewhere. It's like AEW. Nobody's watching it, but nobody wants to admit it because they're hitting positive $75 million. So it's impossible that you are horrendous with viewers, not selling out your venues, but you're still doing a profit. Because you're doing something right.
Yeah. So, all right.
So now you can ask your questions on the AEW. So, right. What's your opinion on all this AEW news that I just hit you in the last 8 minutes?
I'm curious, what did Warner Brothers see out of AEW that they thought with the numbers?
Dude, I was going to say, is either Ted Turner is working with Warner Brothers or something, because there's something going on. Because when I saw this, I'm like, damn, man, this sounds like Ted Turner and Vince McMahon all over again. So somebody in Warner Brothers hates somebody in TKO who owns WWE, and they're saying, we're going to put these people out of business. We're going to do the same thing. If they do Netflix, we're going to hit them and do the same thing.
Exactly.
WWE got Netflix. We're going to get what? Are we going to get HBO Max?
So, as much as I love HBO Max, because I'm a fan of HBO Max.
Oh, I love HBO Max. I'm sorry, I love HBO Max.
Absolutely.
I just hate the prices, but I love HBO Max.
Yeah, but like comparing shows, right? Like when Stranger Things come back, that's a vibe, right? Like Cobra Kai, all these big shows that are on Netflix. You're like, okay, but HBO Max has the biggest drawing numbers right now with the Penguin, right? Like that show is super popping.
Which one?
The Penguin.
Oh yes. Oh my God, yes. I just saw episode 2 on Saturday, and I forgot about episode 3 last night, so I got to watch it this week.
Absolute banger. And then you're throwing AEW. So I'm not saying all the Penguin fans are going to be watching AEW, but with them jumping on and all the numbers of HBO Max having that big of a following and so many subscribers, if you don't have, like, say you don't have basic TV, like cable, right? Now all of a sudden, if I have HBO Max, I'm watching their shows. I don't need cable TV to watch that shit. I just watch it on HBO Max. That is a massive win. We do see a lot of times that these arenas are empty, right? I'm not even saying like empty seats. There's a lot of times where this shit looks bad, right? Like
there's pictures. I mean, and they don't deny it. I mean, and you kind of wonder to yourself, like, what's going on? Like, what is going on? But for the big shows, you know, the Wembley Stadium,
it's
all out, all those shows are sold out. They're hitting $1 million per gate on those shows. So once again, it's crack cocaine. Nobody wants to admit it, but somebody's doing it. So somebody's watching the show.
Listen, like he says, there's everybody. Listen, people are involved with the Booger Sugar, right? Like they can call it whatever they want. If you're fucking dipping your face in there like Tony Montana, it is what it is. But Warner Brothers has a hand in so many things. Obviously, one of my favorite all-time things in Harry Potter. Warner Brothers is attached to a lot of massive big things. Having this kind of contract where I never even heard, you know, we'll look at you back on the 4th year. If we want to stick you around, we'll keep you around. If we don't do this, right? Never seen nothing like that outside of professional sporting contracts. I've never heard of that. So
we signed Chet for 3 years, and the 4th year is a player option.
Yeah.
The 4th year is a team option, you know, or a mutual option. You know, there's 2 different ones. The player wants to stay, he stays. The team wants you, they'll keep you. If it's mutual, both of you guys want to stay or you don't, then if the marriage is good or you got a divorce.
Yeah, and AEW has done a great job with a lot of specific talent. Having a guy like Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson, whatever his name is there, he's always been he went to WWE. We know his legendary run there. He's killing it over here. You got the guy I don't like, part of your Aussie Open, who's a big name. What's the guy who never sells?
From who? From Aussie Open?
Yeah.
Kevin Fletcher?
No. He just fought Ricochet, was grabbing his joint.
Ospreay.
Will Ospreay. I don't care what anyone says. He's part, like, all right, this goes back to how we talk, right? Where when we talk basketball or football, we always say that the shit got soft. It's not the league that we played or the style we played in. It's not the same era of strongman wrestling, big diesel dudes, power slams, and jackknives. It's all aerialistic stuff. It's super spot fest. That's the era we're in.
Well, see, and I don't mind that. In some matches, if I know it's this guy and this guy, and I know what they bring, okay, this is going to be an aerial match, I'm down for this.
Yeah.
Because I want to see this guy do that. But if it's every match is the same, I don't want to see the same match every other match. No. Will Ospreay and Ricochet did the same shit they did in New Japan a couple of years ago when they wrestled, and they did the same spot fit when Jim Cornette went crazy on the radio, and it brought eyes to Will Ospreay and everybody, because everybody wanted to see. Dude, I was psyched for that. I was like, wow, holy shit, this is awesome. See, that's me, because I don't get to see that all the time.
Exactly.
So I was like, wow, this is awesome.
Now, I know you're not the biggest fan of Paige. What the hell's her name?
Pasty White Paige? The whiteout?
So Saraya Knight, I think, is what they call her there, right? All right, so Saraya Knight, she brings eyes, right? Like Britt Baker, whenever she's healthy, because she's always going through some shit, she's the face of the women's division. She always has been. Don't matter who they put a belt on. There's nobody of a Britt Baker, which is their own talent. There's a lot of people they've done very well with. There's been some hit or misses, but that's professional wrestling, right? You're not going to hit it out the park every time. But there is such a good space. They got the kid Hook that I'm not that big of a fan of, but they brought him along slowly, and they're not throwing him down your throat. He's done well. There's a lot of guys that you sit back, a lot of girls they've done really well with. AEW's in a really good position. The thing is, AEW doesn't have to be WWE. This is the part of what fans don't get with the big argument of, are they better than WWE? Can WWE? First of all, it's fucking WWE. When they call, you run, right? Like, that's the marquee. That's the mecca. AEW never has to be that because you know what? WWE is here, AEW somewhere here, and no one is close to any of them. Not Impact, not MLW, not AEW, not ROH, nobody, right? They're in such a comfortable spot. This deal with Warner Brothers making this kind of money, this is insane money, right? Like,
and let's not forget the reason why this happened is because they decided to move away from NBA.
Yeah,
you know, and NBA was a staple for CBS, TNT, True TV, and all those for like what 20, 25 years. I grew up watching NBA on those TBS, TNT. Absolutely, 25 years. You knew Tuesday, Thursdays. Oh, well, watching basketball, and these channels. And now, for some reason, they say, "Oh, we're going to get away from sports or basketball," and you open the door for AEW. And AEW now is taking they're rejoicing that NBA now is going to move somewhere else to, who was it, Amazon? I think that's where it's going to.
They go to Amazon, right?
So now you're going to have to get Amazon to be able to watch NBA. Before, AEW was fighting for free NBA because it's always on TV, TBS, TNT. Now they don't have to fight anymore because now you have to have Amazon Prime and a subscription to be able to watch NBA. And let's wait to see if it doesn't go up in price next year when the NBA hits. Well, we were doing $15.99 and now we got the NBA, so we're gonna have to move up to like 17, 18, 20 bucks a month.
Yep.
You still get the great 2-day delivery, but you have to go up in price.
Yesterday's price ain't today's price.
Exactly. And now, all I have to worry about now is hockey.
Yeah.
I don't know if they give hockey on TV or TNT. I don't know. I don't even know.
Listen, I love hockey. I grew up watching hockey. It's a sport that I like because to me, it's the one sport where it didn't change much. You listen, if me and you play football, baseball, or basketball, and me and you duke it out, we're suspended. Yeah. In hockey, if me and you duke it out, we get 5 minutes in a penalty box, and we can come back out and fight again.
Exactly. Unless you go crazy and try to hit him with a stick there, now you try. That's manslaughter, bro. Like, you gotta relax. This is one-on-one. You either knock him out or you get knocked out.
Word, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta shit up or put up. So.
Exactly. But AEW seems to have came into the industry at the right time, right? Like, everybody wanted a real legit alternative. They did, if you were an Impact fan, ROH hated you. If you were an ROH fan, Impact hated you. Like, it was so fucking bitter. You needed a real legit something. AEW came in. We saw a teaser. Remember when AEW first came out and they had like an HBO kind of logo on one of the commentary things, and we were like, did they sign with HBO?
Yes.
So obviously we didn't see nothing come of it, but now we're getting it. So whatever Tony Khan is doing, he's going through the right networks, and his company keeps bubbling. So they might be not sold out for all these regular shows, and they might be only 700, 900,000 views, but they're getting a bag from HBO Max and Warner Brothers, right? Like 120 something mil a year is fucking insane.
150 to 175 per year, and and then I think Warner Brothers will own the rights or something like that. But by doing that, they're able to put AEW on on the platform faster. HBO Max, they could do the simultaneously shows at the same time. They could do this, they could do that. Now there's more freedom. There's more money to be thrown around. There's more, and we notice that TNT and TBS loves AEW because they always be doing shows like before the bell type of thing, before this. Let's talk to the wrestlers about this, and they do specific shows like that. A big pay-per-views coming up, they do the road to something, and you hear them talking about it, and afterwards you hear them talk. Dude, who does that to any of this wrestling nowadays? Where they really cater and let's do a show about this 10:30 or right after we're gonna do this episode of this. I mean, shit. I wish I was working for AEW right now, and they're gonna push us in that matter all the time.
And I think we could finish with this with AEW.
Right.
The beautiful thing about WWE and AEW, where we're fans of like Impact, that's how we first started talking, MLW, NWA. You can't hide from spoilers, right? Like as soon as you do anything, someone's posting some shit, and which could be 3-4 weeks from now, and you already know what's gonna happen. With AEW, it's all live. WWE, it's all live. So there's no spoilers technically because everything is for that moment. So that's what makes them too special. Like I said, I like everything that I hear about AEW. I think that Tony Khan is playing it smart, and he's obviously a great business guy. I mean, fuck, we jumped on here when Tony Khan was in the draft with the fucking neck brace.
Yeah,
the Jaguars going to make their picks, and Tony Khan is acting fucked up in the NFL draft. Like, and they even said,
the following day when he got fouled dropped to the table.
Yeah, and he goes, one of the people, I can't remember who it was, said, oh, look, Tony Khan of AEW Wrestling on the NFL draft. That is a fucking massive win.
And he went in Rich Eisen's show.
Yes.
So the March for Kids thing that they do every year. And he was going to give him the brace because he wanted the brace. And he goes, no, I'm going to give you the brace, and I'm going to give you $100,000 to go toward the march of thing that they were doing.
Yeah,
because they wanted to get the brace and auction it off.
Yeah, to support.
He goes, no, I'm going to give you the brace so you could have it signed and you could have it here, and I'm going to give you $100,000. He was like, holy shit, like what? Like that dude went there and just like
it's marketing, right? It was brilliant marketing. Yeah, we hear 100,000, we're like, oh shit, this guy's rich. 100,000 to him is nothing. But it took that little for everyone to go, oh shit, look what he did, right? Like it's a little gesture for him, but it's huge for the marketing of everything else. My brother, please, I want to talk.
All right, so you're gonna segue from AEW. You're gonna go to WWE. Last night they had their show Bad Blood. I didn't watch it, but a lot of stuff came out of it. A lot of questions. Interesting that a WWE PLE only 5 matches deep was a pay-per-view of only 5 matches. So now that's the new complaint in Twitter about people complaining about only being 5 matches long, but still having the same effect of a pay-per-view that has 8-9 matches deep. So, you could argue about that you among yourselves or whatever. But the biggest things that came out are Raquel Rodriguez is back. She turned on Rhea Ripley because she was the one who got her hurt the last time. So it looks like they're going to add a new female to the Judgment Day, which would be cool if they keep adding members. That'll be awesome. So we have to watch out and see what happens with that. With the main event, they saw the original Bad Blood, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes defeat the new Bad Blood or whatever. Or original, not Bad Blood.
The Bloodline.
The Bloodline, I'm sorry. But the Bad Blood name, Bloodline. But Jimmy Uso is back. He slid up from under the ring. They did a couple of super kicks. The good guys won. They're about to leave. Cody Rhodes is getting stumped by the Bloodline. Bloodline. So Jimmy reminded Reigns, like, dude, you promised him that you were going to help him. So they went back and they cleaned the house, whatever. And then the big, can you smell what you're cooking? And the goosebumps just came out, and everybody just came out. The man didn't have to say anything. It just came out, looked inside the ring, messaging at Cody Rhodes, telling Cody Rhodes, don't forget, I told you at WrestleMania I was coming for that belt, and we're October, and he wanted to remind him, I'm still coming for that belt. So we already see the seeds are planting. So we are definitely going to get that match next year, WrestleMania, either night 1 or night 2 of Cody Rhodes versus The Rock. So from Vegas. So that is going to be crazy. Now, after the show, after everybody went, took their showers or whatever, Cody Rhodes comes out to go to the bus. Kevin Owens is out there hanging out. Beautiful car. Now, I don't know much shit about cars. I don't know if that was a Lambo or a McLaren, whatever the hell it was. That shit was nice. I cannot afford it, but I wish I had one of those just for a ride. So they go out there talking. Cody puts the belt down. Next thing you know, Kevin Owens just starts blasting Cody Rhodes down to the puddles. So the funny thing about this is that this was not with cameras out there. This is fan video being posted on Twitter or social media. So that's the new thing that TKO / WWE wants to go into now, of doing stuff like this outside or inside where there's no cameras, but the fans are the ones who are witnessing it, of the hopes of they see it, they'll record it, it goes right to social media, and it blows up because now everybody's talking about it. For the next night or the next hour, videos are everywhere. It's getting posted in IG, X, Facebook, whatever social media you have, it's getting posted everywhere. It's getting on YouTube. It's getting record numbers of getting views. But there was no cameras back there recording. No, because they want that real fan experience. You paying to come here, you staying afterwards half an hour to see the people leave. Maybe you can get an autograph, you can get this. Now you see interactions where the fans are really fighting the wrestlers, about stupid shit. Yeah. But now they're going to give you something that you can actually record and put on, on social media and get everybody going. So now WWE is giving you the universe experience of you are the cameraman now. You are the commentator. We want you to see this, witness it, go crazy, commentate. Oh my God. Boom. And make the video go viral. So with that said, we already know we have The Rock versus Cody Rhodes Nation WrestleMania. You got Jimmy Uso back, align himself with Roman Reigns. Now they have a month to get Jey Uso on the same boat and get maybe Sami Zayn, since he was an ordinary Uso, or get one of the new guys, because good Lord, there's like 50,000 Samoans out there. I'm pretty sure they could get one of those Samoans to go in, and then you have your war games match right there, the main event, original Bloodline against the new Bloodline for the rights of the Bloodline. Whoever loses gets disbanded or whatever. You could throw a bunch of different ideas of this, but the seed has been done. That's going to be the main event of War Games. It's going to be crazy. Bloodline versus Bloodline. And we'll see what happens. Like I said, you could pull this Bloodline thing for the next 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. You could do the NWO thing. When we got it's the Bloodline green or the Bloodline gold, the Bloodline black and white against the Bloodline gold, and then they break up, and they go back and then they go into the ring, and then it's a ruse. Now everybody's together, and now they're gonna run shot to the whole wrestling world. Dude, you could pull this thing for the next 2 years nonstop. For the next 2 years. So, Chip, I just gave you all the stuff on Bad Blood last night. Any comments or your comments on everything that I said? Because I'm running out of breath. And I'm
All right.
fat. And I need to drink water.
So I'm going to exclude every single thing you said except for the Bloodline stuff, right? Because my top 3 all-time favorite wrestler of all time is The Rock. Not a hit. Listen, if they've been listening to our podcast, I've said this 6 billion times. The Rock, and I love how you said The Rock didn't have to say anything to make an impact. That music hits. Let me tell you something. There's a few different renditions. I don't care which one you hear. Whichever one pops, crowd goes crazy, right? The Rock, I love his new moniker of "I'm the final boss." To me, that word isn't just a word. It's eventually going to mean something. I'm the final boss. It's more than just a cool tagline to say something. The Rock, eventually, when he's said and done, the final boss is going to be defeated, and he's going to walk off. Up until this point, the final boss is the final boss for a reason. Roman's not on that level, and Roman has earned my respect. He's done his thing from being someone I never gave a fuck about to killing it. The Uso coming out with the bandana over his face. You already know once he had a bandana, I was all in for it. I'm like, all right, drops the bandana, starts super kicking everybody. I'm like, holy shit, here we go, right? So, The Rock letting Cody Rhodes know I'm coming for that. I can't wait because I'm not going to say Cody has been a great champ. I'm not going to say he's been a bad champ. I don't care. The Rock getting that spot back, because unlike most wrestlers who walk away from wrestling for a long time, they kind of lose that edge. The Rock, to me, still feels like 1996 Rock, right? Like, he still walks around like when we were talking before we came on. So did you see when he was walking away and he's like pounding some random like workers, right? They're not even wrestling workers. They're like people who clean up or something. They had the same t-shirt and he's like, "Dap it, boys, dap it. You're a Rock fan." He's like, "Yeah, hell yeah, you are," right? He's talking crazy. It's The Rock. Everything he does is fucking gold. So Cody Rhodes getting the shit kicked out of him. Now, this I agree with you. The new experience, I think that it's going to keep people way more engaged. It's not just going to the venue, watching the show, and dipping and, talking about it in the car on the way home or whatever. In a way, it kind of reminds me of old school Impact Wrestling, where they had the people like hiding behind a wall trying to act like they're. You remember when like Sting was doing something and they were trying to act like Sting didn't know or Hogan didn't know that someone's recording on a shady little level?
Exactly.
Yeah, this is dope because this is the fans. It's not production that's making it look like that. So the opportunity to be able to have random people make you go viral, you don't even have to put that work in. You're just having a little sample of something, and all of a sudden social media is going crazy without you having to put any effort into it.
And then the crazy thing, imagine you being there and you have your thing, the camera out, and then you upload it, and now your video is the one that's going viral.
Yeah, so you're getting
attention. Like, I saw this, I recorded, that was me, that was my thing, and boom, 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 boom. Dude, that experience alone.
It's if you're a wrestling fan, what more could you ask for, right? Like, because it's fucking yours. You're the reason that this is popping off. Even if it's a 5 minutes to fame or just a little personal, I got this popping, you did that, right? Like, you're part of the show now. So this was an amazing opportunity. TKO is something that they're bringing freshness, right? They're bringing a new era into wrestling, something we haven't seen before. So it's going to be amazing. As for the Bloodline versus the Bloodline, my only worry, and we talked about prior, the Usos, talented. Roman Reigns, talented. The Rock, the great one. The new Bloodline, I've always liked, oh man, he's the leader of the Bloodline. What the fuck is his name?
Sikoa?
Solo Sikoa, right? Like, I've always been a fan of Solo. I like his work, but to me, he's not the top guy. Like, to me, he's your tough guy. Like, like for reference for you, Arn Anderson was a superstar. Let's not try to say he's not. But Ric Flair is the top guy in the Horsemen. Arn Anderson is the bully, right? Like he's the guy who's gonna beat the shit out of you because Rick don't have to get his hands dirty with you. To me, that's Solo. Solo's the kind of guy who beats the shit out of you, and he's not the top guy.
And during the shows last night, they were showing a lot of the young timers, old timers, and of course, sitting next to each other, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Arn Anderson. Hey, Tully Blanchard. Hey, yeah. Arn Anderson. Dude,
it's legendary shit, right? It's legendary shit. But
get it.
Those four from the OG bloodline will smoke, except, and I'm going to say this now because I am extremely biased. Jacob Fatu is a one of one. I don't care what anyone says. If you're lived in a fucking hobbit hole and you paid attention to only Lord of the Rings and you don't know who fucking Jacob Fatu is, this guy's been a star way before he came to WWE. We were wondering, well, why the fuck did he sign and we haven't seen him in forever? He came in looking like he lost a lot of weight. Yeah. He's flying around, still feels like Jacob Fatu, but healthier, right? So you go, oh shit. The other two clowns, I'm like, well, I really don't want to see them much.
First of all, they're not clowns. They're the GOD, the Guerrillas of Destiny.
Have they showed their value in WWE?
Japan gods in New Japan. And that's the problem. That's the problem. They're New Japan products.
Yes, but they had
lives
in WWE.
In New Japan. They wrestle like in New Japan, so it's gonna take time for people to get used to them. But hey, they're doing their thing. I can't hate on them.
Yeah. No. See, I'm not talking about anything besides of what we've seen on camera. Get the bag, right? Grow your brand, because being from New Japan, being original Bullet Clubs with Guerrillas of Destiny and all that good shit, salute. Keep doing your thing. Keep making yourself relevant. But we've seen way too many botches and bad spots by these two guys in WWE, and that's what I'm going off. I'm not going off of anything besides making mistakes. Now, everyone makes mistakes. Nobody's human, and I wish they clean it up, because I do like Tama Tonga. I don't know why they don't give this guy a microphone and let him talk instead of making weird sounds, because Tama Tonga, whatever the fuck he's doing, like, shit is crazy. But
all I hope is when War Games happens, they wear their paint, their war paint, and have them come out with their face painted, like they used to down in New Japan with the white face painted with the black eyes. I'm waiting for that shit to happen, and I'm hoping when War Games happen, they give them the opportunity to do that. Why they haven't done that yet, I don't understand, but
Well, I know Solo kind of has them looking like the Mob, where they dress in suits and stuff like that. I get that, but if we're going to war, right? Let's start putting the tribal shit on. Let's go back to the roots. Let us do our thing, because I think that now let them be them. Now the first thing I remember, and I'm gonna just say this about Tama Tonga. I don't know what the beef was with ROH, because I really didn't watch it, but I know he was super pissed off. Was walking into an interview and just launched the belt into a wall, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? He didn't give a shit. I've seen him talk shit in New Japan, and I'm like, it feels like Jacob Fatu and MLW, right? Like, they talk shit to a specific demographic, and I'm like, give that to the universe. Put a microphone on Jacob Fatu. Put a microphone on.
No, do not put a microphone on Jacob Fatu. Oh, God, no. They'll get banned, right?
All right.
They'll get kicked out of unless they go to Netflix. When they go next year to Netflix, now give him the mic. Let him go crazy now. But don't give him the mic from now till then. No.
All right, so I'm bugging. Let me not go off the deep end. You can give Tama Tonga a microphone. He knows how to fucking keep his shit to a certain level of OD. But Yeah, maybe I'm bugging. I'm definitely bugging with Jacob.
Not
Hudson.
Jacob Fatu or him. Not till they go to Netflix. When there's NC and NC 17, let them do whatever they want to do. Not now. But there was one more thing that I wanted to bring up because I wanted to get your opinion on this. And this is something that came up like a week ago on Twitter.
Okay.
And they asked Triple H again at the show last night, and he gave an answer about it. There hasn't been a black wrestler or black talent on a one-on-one match that they're going one guy who's black versus one guy who's black or one black guy against anybody that has won a match in any SmackDown or Raw pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, PLEs, in over going on 2 years. Last time was under Uncle Vince's watch.
Whoa!
And now one-on-one match involving a black wrestler has won a match in any pay-per-view in 700 and something days plus and going. There hasn't been any black wrestler one-on-one in the last 3 Raw or SmackDown PLEs, including last night. There wasn't no black wrestler or black male wrestler on a one-on-one match on the last 3, not including NXT, because NXT got a bunch.
I was about to say, yeah, NXT,
Raw or SmackDown in the last 3 shows, so last 3 months. So the question was brought out because Swerve is on a tour talking to every urban station or every urban podcast that he could find. The Drink Champs morning with Charlamagne the God.
He was on Drink Champs? Swerve?
Swerve
was on Drink Champs?
Yeah, Drink Champs. I don't know if it's Drink Champs or I think it was with Charlamagne the God.
Okay, the breakfast show.
Yeah, and then hanging out with battle rappers and doing interviews on podcasts. Where he's mentioned, the question was asked about that they want him to go back to WWE, but they said no. He said no, and then they were saying because they didn't feel he was worth the money that he's getting paid now in AEW. So the question that people are coming up with is WWE racist?
Well, fuck, we know that, right?
But Triple H was asked the question. It's been all over Twitter, social media the last week or 2 weeks. And they asked Triple H last night that same question. And Triple H came out and said, we're basically putting people on TV. And when you see the pay-per-views, is whatever storyline is being used at that time moving forward. So whoever is hot is who we're using. But now that Bobby Lashley is gone, who do they have that's black, male-wise, in SmackDown or Raw that you could push except for Carmelo? Who else? Who else is black? Unless you start bringing Trick up and some of the other guys, all they have left are just Street Profits.
Well, what happened? What happened to Kofi?
Well, tag team.
Yeah. True.
And when have you seen them in their pay-per-view that they won? That's 4 black guys, but tag teams.
Big E is done. He's washed.
Yeah, it's not, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, he's got the.
And then you have the other guy, the Uha Nation, but what's his name in WWE? Real short.
Oh,
they gave him the Father Asir. He's in SmackDown, but we're like, come on now, really? They gave up on that guy a long time ago.
See,
so that's 5. Ricochet left.
Ricochet's gone.
So you have at least one guy there, and Bobby Lashley, and now those 2 guys are gone. So you got 5 black talent, male, in SmackDown and Raw. Who out of those 5 are you gonna push as a singles wrestler or even a tag team that's going to win a match in a pay-per-view. Right now, they're fumbling and bumbling themselves in Raw because about the New Day, about breaking up, maybe whatever shit is going on with them. Street Profits, they don't know what to do with them now that Lashley's gone.
What to do with them?
They blew their chances of making that one guy, the real guy that could
the flip guy, the one that does the flips.
Yeah, they missed his chance in breaking them up and having them go straight to the top. They missed that chance.
See, that's the weird thing because I think the Street Profits were the closest thing to like Shad and JTG, right? Like
Crime Time.
And I'm not saying they have to steal anything or nothing like that and be gimmicky, but they had that urban feel, just like Crime Time. And I think they missed the ball with them. But like WWE has always been known for that. This is why people like me and yourself, even before we knew each other, we gravitated to Impact Wrestling where they weren't afraid to putting black champions, black people with belts on, right? They were never afraid of it. They embraced that.
So we always watch MLW, black and Puerto Rican champions.
Absolutely. So
that we know.
You know, and that's why we always gravitate to those kind of shows because at least our kind of people from the culture have a place where they're not just wrestlers and then they get to a certain point and they're stealing hits, right? Like other people, absolutely. To me, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I personally would have that guy in my top 10 all time, right? Like he's Santana. He's just fucking special. He's special. But real talk, like WWE has always had that stigma, right? Like they've never really went all in on a black champion. Never. Hispanics, I'm going to tell you right now, people could take this however they want. If you were a Mexican, WWE didn't fuck with you. Right? Like you had to be Mexican or luchador or something that was known from Mexico. You were Colombian, Dominican, Puerto Rican, Ecuador, El Salvador, XYZ. If I missed yours, my bad. But if you weren't Mexican, you weren't getting that. And there's a big difference between being a Mexican guy from Mexico to a talent of any other Hispanic heritage from anywhere else, right? Like, because it's pockets. You go, okay, well, I like my Canadian wrestlers because of the Hearts, right? I like my Mexican wrestlers because of what they do in AAA and Crash and Lucha Libre, anything. So everyone has these pockets. You got your Aussie team, which they're bubbling. Like you got a lot of people from different works, but then our own homegrown people, or let's just say Puerto Rico, which is a part of the United States. Our product doesn't get shown like that. So even when you had somebody who's super talented like
Priest,
Damian Priest took forever to get on, right? Let me just say,
championship. So that was amazing.
Yeah,
and he didn't have the belt for what, 3 months?
And one of the coolest things that I seen being a Yankee fan was because I followed the Yankees on social media. I seen Damian Priest go to a Yankee Stadium, and he's with Judge. He's got the WWE belt, and I'm like, holy shit, right? Let's do this. But then you got Thea Trinidad. She never really won shit. Damian Priest is
Queen of the Ring.
Okay, Queen of the Ring. My bad. And then you have, to me, the greatest heel right now. I don't give a fuck what show you watch. Nobody is more fucking heelish hate than Dominic Mysterio, right? I don't care who. Go in the comments and tell me who's a bigger heel than Dominic Mysterio. Everyone fucking hates this guy. And I mean, he has a basic storyline. Oh, I like this shorty. I like Rhea, but I like her, right? And he always fucks with his dad. Like, it's some savage shit. But you know what? As for WWE, man, fix your shit, because at some point, you're going to lose the black athletes. They're going to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I know AEW would give me a bag. Right? Like, because at some point, I got to do what's best for my brand. Maybe signing with WWE, even though you're going to, you go, okay, but how far are they going to get me? How far am I going to go here? And then will AEW fuck with me? I think, yeah, most likely, but then I got to reinvent myself over there now. Get the bag, do what you got to do, but like we always have said, we've been doing this for a few years. It's more than just making the bag. It's about building your brand, because when your brand is at a certain point, everyone wants you.
Well, it's crazy that the SmackDown and Raw, all the wrestlers, and there's only, 5 black people?
Yeah.
in between both shows.
It's
I mean, our truth, but shit.
yeah, but he's a
Yes.
novelty act by now. He's
He's six, but yeah.
he's a goofy character by now.
Yeah, exactly.
But listen, you got AEW from us, you got WWE from us. This is what we do, right? Like Muffins took control of the reins. I like it when he does this shit, and I'm not gonna be like Diddy and say I like it when you do it like that, Daddy. You know what I mean? Because I know you've seen that. Listen, for myself, this man, like, subscribe, share, all that good shit. Jump into the comments. You forgot that one when we did this one. You forgot that one. So I said it at the very end. What it is. But for myself and this man, we out of here. Deuces.